Hey there, welcome back to Limabean Crafting. In today's video, I will be showing you how I made these two fall crafts using 4 Dollar Tree products. So let's get to it. To make both of these crafts, I picked up one of these napkin packs, this cute Halloween die-cut DIY box, a wooden tray, and some Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree. I also used this Martha Stewart wood stain I've almost completely used up, and this acrylic paint in the color egg from Target that I've had on hand. Let's go ahead and start with the tray. First up, I stained every side of the tray except for the part of the tray that would actually hold something with some watered down wood stain. That is, I stained the sides, the handles, and the underside of the tray. Next, I painted the remaining side with a coat of my egg-colored acrylic paint. When everything had dried, I gave both the stain and the paint a second coat, leaving me with this result. Next, I prepared my napkin. I trimmed out the design of the napkin that I wanted to transfer to the tray and separated the layers so that I was only left with the one layer that had the design. Due to the size of the tray, I trimmed down this piece of napkin a little further after isolating the layer that I was going to glue down. Once everything had dried, I covered the painted portion of my tray with a layer of Mod Podge, and while that was still wet, I laid the napkin design side up on the Mod Podge, trying to center it in the middle of the tray. I made sure to flatten out the napkin from the center of the design to its edges. When the Mod Podge layer had dried, I covered this portion of the tray with another layer of Mod Podge to secure the napkin to the tray. If you wanted, you could add a fun saying using some vinyl or just leave it as is. If you were to add a saying, what would it be? Let me know down in the comments. I might just have to use one of your suggestions and add it to this design. If I do, I will definitely post an updated picture of this craft in the community tab. Let's move on to this little owl box that I made for my daughter. To make this little craft, I first trimmed out the design of the napkin that I wanted to transfer to the box and separated the layers so that I was only left with the one layer that had the design. Next, I stained almost every side of the box except for the front using a bit of watered down wood stain. Then I painted the front using the egg-colored paint. When that dried, I covered the front with a layer of Mod Podge, and while that was still wet, I laid the napkin design side up on the Mod Podge, trying to center the flower in the middle of the rectangle. I made sure to flatten out the napkin from the center of the design out to the edges of the box. When the Mod Podge layer had dried, I covered the top of the napkin with another layer of Mod Podge to secure it to the box. Once the box was completely dry, I trimmed the napkin, leaving about a half-inch border around the box and lit this portion on fire. This was a technique that I saw on TikTok, and I figured I would give it a try. On TikTok, it looked like the flame would burn the napkin a whole lot faster, so that's why I'm showing you guys the burn in real time, to have, realistic expectations. This method didn't give a super flush finish with the box. That is, there were still little bits of ragged napkin that remained hanging off the side of the box, although not overly visible. To get rid of the bits of napkin that covered the holes of the owl design, I first poked some holes through the back of the design and lit the ripped pieces on fire. I was hoping these pieces of napkin would burn off all the way until the wooden part of the owl design, but unfortunately they did not. So I decided to break out the sandpaper anyways and sand down both the sides of the box along with the inner pieces of the design. For the extra small parts of the design, I used an X-Acto knife to trim off any unwanted pieces of napkin. Obviously, using a flame on the intricate details of the face of the design made some of the areas darker than others, giving it a more rustic look. If I were to do this craft again, I would consider just painting the front and trying the flaming decoupage technique on the sides. My daughter is using this box as a way to store the little treasures she finds on our nature walks, but you could always insert some of Dollar Tree's little battery-powered string lights inside to shine through the owl design for a fun nightlight or decoration. I am really happy with how these crafts turned out, and I hope you are too. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one.